Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Eternals issues 1 through 6, written by Charles and Daniel Knauf, and art by Daniel Acuña. Fantastic art. I really love Daniel Acuña's art style. This particular edition, I can't see who the colorist is because I really love how his work is colored. I don't know if Daniel Acuña actually does his own coloring or not, but it's a real shame it's not established here. So this series actually comes after the Neil Gaiman one, where he really revitalizes the Eternals mythos. I think last year or 2 years ago, Jason Aaron sort of retconned most of the Eternals mythos. I didn't like it too much, but it is what it is. And this particular series, before I spoil it, it's really good. Also, the Neil Gaiman series too was fantastic. What's established in the story is that the sleeping Celestial that was sleeping under San Francisco, he woke, and instead of choosing Ajax, he chose Kari as the interpreter of his wills and needs, and man. So at the beginning of the story, what happens is, what happened previously is that the Celestial gave his judgment and he called out his song. And this led to coming to Earth. Because what we discover in the story, what they try to build up in the mythos is that the Celestials create the Eternals and the Deviants. At the time of judgment, if the energy signature of the Eternals is stronger, ones that reap the benefits from the planet. If the Deviants' signature is stronger, the Horde is the one that takes over and reap the benefits from that respective planet. Basically, I think they destroy it. I'm not sure what the Celestials are going to do, but the Horde, I know they're not good news. They're like the mortal enemies of the Celestials because they're sort of vague what happens. I think it's established further down what the Celestials actually do with the planet if the Eternals are on top. In the previous story arc with Neil Gaiman, Sprite, one of the Eternals, made the Eternals forget who they were, and they all appeared across the Earth living normal human lives. So Icarus, Athena, Makari, well, Makari is actually he's too involved with the Celestial. He sort of lost himself. And Cersei are searching for the lost Eternals, waking them up. While Eternal, I think his name is Druig, I can never remember his name, he's trying to find them before they do and bring them to his side. So there's sort of a race between the good Eternals and the bad Eternals. What happens is, in this first story arc, Ajax is not happy at all with the fact that he's not the one that's communicating with the Celestial. That was like his main purpose in life. He's thrown aside. He's very bitter about this situation. He wants to get back against Makari. Again, as I go through these pages, Daniel Acuña's art, it's a real delight. Like, this particular story doesn't have too much action, but it does really trap you. At least for me, the way they build up the mythos, the relationship between the characters, at least I really like it. Zurus, who's sort of an asshole, because Athena has a normal mortal child, and she took this child to the Citadel where the Eternals live. Zurus is not really down with this situation, but as the story progresses, he starts liking the kid. He starts having a little bit of relations. It's pretty well written. But the thing is, Ajax hunts down and finds Gilgamesh and convinces Gilgamesh that Icarus and Zurus, they have lost their way. They have to pay. And basically, Gilgamesh is going to start clobbering Eternals, the good ones, the bad ones, left and right. So what happens here with the Celestials is, during one moment, they go judge Earth. They see the deviant signature is on top, and so he's going to cast his judgment. He's going to have to call the Horde, but he stopped. So sorry, there, I had to deal with something. So he passes judgment, and he's stopped by the other Celestials. They intervene, and things go south from there. The dreaming or dark Celestial is locked into battle with his other Celestials, his compatriots. They stab him in the back. They break with procedure, and it's not explained why the other Celestials do this. At the same time, as I said before, the little kid, Athena's kid, is starting to win Zurus' heart over. But Zurus is like his hard ass. he's a total dick to the other Eternals. So it's sort of sweet seeing this, but something's up with the kid. What we discover is his mind has been hijacked by the Horde. The Horde is spying on the Eternals. They want to know what they're up to because they're on their way to Earth to consume it or destroy it or whatever evil hordes do. Zeus takes a liking to the kid, takes him to the Eternals trophy room. It's sort of cool to see Cosmic Hulk here that plays an important role during the Red Hulk phase of Hulk's history. We have the return of Gilgamesh, which this particular suit is pretty awesome. Ajax has this before. He's bent out of shape, that he lost the ability to speak to Celestials, and he tricks Gilgamesh into making every Celestial, listen to me, every Eternal pay. Here we have the Eternals battling against Apocalypse, and it's cool to see this reference. There is actually a one-shot that I did cover on this channel, I'm pretty sure, where the Eternals fight against Apocalypse. It would be cool to see like a mini-series dedicated to going back to the past, seeing the Eternals deal with Apocalypse, and get more information of what went down between these two characters and why they really hate each other so badly. Gilgamesh is able to find Druig and company first. He just totally walks all over him. He's like Juggernaut. Like, he's really powerful now. Iris and Cersei discover that the child is a sleeper agent for the Horde, and once the Horde are through with the kid, he ends up dying. It's sort of sad. It's like, the storytelling is really good. When this kid dies, you really do feel sort of bad for him. It's a really tragic moment. But this also, immediately after this happens, Athena, with a broken heart, her child died. Makari's trying to get back to the Eternal City, and he gets clotheslined by Gilgamesh. And even though this series, it's not characterized for its action, it's like one of the most violent and brutal fight scenes I've ever seen in a comic. It takes place in 2 or 3 pages. Gilgamesh clotheslines him, breaks his leg, then breaks his back. Like, this is freaking brutal. Just leaves him for dead, and lying on the ground, inches away from death, gets blasted by Ajax. And what they do is, to make sure that Makari doesn't come back, the Eternals have these resurrection machines given to them by the Celestials. So if they die, they're very hard to kill. But if they die, they're resurrected. Gilgamesh also destroys the machines, so Makari can't come back. So this actually leads to the Dreaming Celestial to start his protocol, to start his song of destruction. All to the Horde again. Athena battles against Gilgamesh. Since the resurrection machine is destroyed, Gilgamesh seemingly gets killed. Obviously, he's going to come back sooner or later. And Makari can't come back to life now. So what happens is Cersei, who has always sort of been Makari's life companion, they've been on and off, but they always had a relationship, sacrifices herself and actually transmutes her body into Makari so Makari's soul can fill it, stopping the end of the world protocol of the Celestial. Makari regains its communication with this being, and basically they save the world, save the day. So this is a pretty good series. Like, I spoiled the hell out of it, but there's a lot of intrigues of what's the role of the Celestials, what happens after the Judgment, the Horde. It really opens up Marvel's cosmology, even though I really don't like what Jason Aaron did to it afterwards, because it sort of invalidates the whole thing. But this series, pretty awesome. I do recommend it. So see you guys next time. Bye.